y'all, we are gonna get ready together today. We are going to give our opinions on some things. We're gonna chat, we're gonna have a good time. Let's jump into it. I was super inspired to do this video from watching the Sesh podcast. I love watching Kendall and Janelle, and they do these reaction videos on their podcast where they go to Reddit and they look at the "Am I the a-hole?" And I think it's so fun. Basically, if you've never heard of this, people go and they write in like a situation maybe that happened, something going on in their life, and they are asking like, am I the one in the wrong? Am I the jerk in this situation? Or is it the other people? And like, am I right or am I right? You know? So I love hearing Kendall and Janelle give their perspectives, and I always have thoughts and opinions, so I thought maybe this could be fun for me to do, but while I get ready and do makeup, because I love doing my makeup. So that's what we're gonna do today. I do have my face, like my skincare is on. My skin is super glowy. I'm wearing my Snail Mucin. I will link it down below in the description box, and I also have on my Refi primer. I am gonna be doing my makeup, but I probably will not be talking about the products a lot, so I will put them all in the description box in the order I use them. So if you have any questions, you can definitely check there. I am going to push back my hair, and we're gonna start applying some makeup. Okay, so for this video, I asked my beautiful, wonderful, amazing sister-in-law, Kat, if she would read me some submissions for this so I could react, because I'm like, you know, it's always more fun if I can just react, somebody can read, and I'm not the one who's like stopping. Because if you think I can read something long like that while I do my makeup, absolutely not. So I am just going to blend this in. I'm going to do my makeup while I have Kat read me these stories. When I give my opinion, I would also love to hear your opinion, because that's the beauty of this type of submission, right? Like, everybody has different perspectives, different takes on things. I am gonna have my perspectives based on my life experiences, so it is totally okay if we disagree about something. I would love to hear your opinions. I'm going to put this concealer on, and I'm going to let Kat read the first submission.
Am I the asshole for telling my parents they have to accept my husband's smoking habits or don't visit? So I live out of state with my husband of 5 years. We live in a weed legal state. My husband has a medical marijuana card because of certain medical conditions. My parents have been hinting they want to come visit and stay for 3 to 4 months. The only issue is they are...
Pause. 3 to 4 months? Did we hear that right? Months?
Extremely against any smoking, especially marijuana. I explained to my parents, who are extremely old school, that sure they can visit, but my husband does smoke after work for pain and to wind down. He works 6 days a week, 16-hour days. Immediately they say when they are here he can't smoke, and that's final. I find it unfair that my parents would even say this or expect something like that, because my husband's parents, while they don't agree, they always say, you pay the bills, we are just guests, and don't make a fuss about him smoking. My husband sacrifices so much and works so hard. He doesn't drink or do anything else, so one joint is so minor in my eyes. My parents then involved my siblings, who are writing me, calling me disrespectful, saying I have no manners. My dad literally used to down bottles of liquor after work and be extremely annoyingly loud and drunk and rude when we were growing up, but my mom would always defend it, saying, he's the man of the house who works hard, so leave him alone. So am I the asshole for telling my parents, just don't visit our place and we will make the financial sacrifice to go visit them twice a year for a weekend? Obviously not staying under their roof. We will get our own hotel, car, rental things, etc.
Okay, I am super thankful that Kat read that story. Let me make sure that I have this right before I react, or let's kind of like just recap what I heard. As I put on my Patrick Top bronzer. So the husband has a medical condition and has a medical card to get his needed things, medication, whatever you want to call it, his medical things for his medical condition. I'm pretty sure the person who wrote in said that he works 16-hour days, 6 days a week, and he has chronic pain issues. And the parents went to stay for months, and not have him take his medication. I got that, right? Like, we both heard the same thing. We both heard the same thing, right? Like, we all heard the same thing, because I am confusion. I am so confused because, okay, first of all, let me just give my verdict. Let me give my verdict, and then I'll kind of explain my thought process. No, poster person who wrote the post in, you are not the a-hole. You are not. You are not. And I'm going to talk about why, because this is one of the most insane things I have heard. Like, this to me is insanity. But let me grab my powder and let me get my powder, and we'll apply it, and we'll talk. I don't get it. Okay. I would have probably said, okay, like, what medications do you take? And can you not take those for 3 to 4 months? Like, what medication allows you to live your life? Because are you going to do without those for 3 to 4 months? Like, the audacity of anybody to be like, hey, don't take this medication that you need to work, that, you know, puts food on the table, pays for the house. I'm like, okay, so her parents want to come and stay at her home, where I'm assuming her husband contributes to paying for the home or rent or something. Parents are fine with him paying for them a place to live for, 3 to 4 months. Like, I would say a place to live, not even just a place to stay, right? A place to live. At that point, where's my brush? This is insane. But they're just not okay with him taking the prescription that he has in order to go to work to pay for their place to stay. That's wild to me. And what made the story even more crazy? I know it's not a story. It's somebody's real life. That's what's bizarre. What's even more bizarre is the poster, I believe it was a she, said that now her siblings are telling her that she's in the wrong for telling her parents, like, no, my husband's not going to stop for 3 to 4 months while y'all come. Her siblings are involved. Her siblings are involved in that. How? Like, the way I would block phone numbers, and I know people will be like, but it's family. But sometimes you choose your family, you know? Sometimes you have to choose your family, because these people out here seem wild. I cannot imagine. He's literally taking something he needs. Yeah, bizarre. And then the person who wrote in even said, like, my husband and I have said, like, we'll go visit them. We don't have to stay with them. Like, we will pay for a place, like, to ourselves so that we can still visit them. It's not like she's even saying, like, Mom and Dad, I never want to see you again since you don't like this need that my husband has, which is already bizarre enough to me. Like, I get it if they don't want to be around it. Like, that's their personal choice. But to enforce that choice on another, I don't like. I don't like that. And for the brothers and sisters or siblings or whoever to be calling and giving their input, like, sometimes you got to know when to butt out. I would never. If you have a different opinion, like if you think that this person who wrote in is the one in the wrong, I would love to hear your thoughts as to why or how. I'm just like, wow. I can never imagine telling somebody like, hey, I'm going to be visiting you, and while I'm there, I just want you to stop this medication that allows you to function. That's insanity. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna read another one because that's crazy. Like, I would full on, I'd be like, oh, I'm not getting their calls anymore, probably because they're blocked, because they're hateful. Hateful. It's one of those situations too. I know for me, wrong me. I will get over it. I will speak my piece. I will let you know exactly how I feel, because I'm definitely not the keep it inside type of person. If I have an issue, let's talk about it. But the minute you are hateful or rude, this situation I would call hateful, like just full on hateful. If you are that way to my husband or my friend or family member or somebody I love, oh, no. Like, no. I will forget you so fast. It's not even crazy. Like, it's not even an issue anymore. Like, I don't care. I have mentally moved on. I have forgiven and I have forgotten and moved on with my life. So I think maybe the parents should be super grateful that their daughter is still taking their calls and cares enough to even like question, am I the wrong one in this situation? Because would not be me. I wonder if I rambled too long. Y'all will have to let me know how you like this style of video, because I will definitely appreciate your feedback. I am going to have Kat read me another submission. I'm just putting on a little bit of finishing powder and we can react while I do my eye look.
Am I the for refusing to pay for the expensive boots my puppy ate? We, male and female in our 50s, have a 9-month-old puppy. I've struggled to train him and hired a professional trainer to help us out. Even so, he does puppy things like chewing anything he can find that looks interesting. He has lots of specific dog toys, but they're clearly not as well designed as all the human-owned things that are so much more desirable to his puppy brain. Over Christmas, my brother Ray, 37, and his husband Kevin, 50, wanted to stay with us. I refused at first, but finally agreed because accommodation is insanely expensive in the summer holidays. Therefore, I agreed. Before they came, I gave them the full rundown on the puppy's behavior. I told them they can't leave anything on the floor, and the door of their bedroom has to be shut whenever they're not in there. To make things easier, I cleared out the top shelf of the cupboard for them and bought several boxes with lids that click into place. When they arrived, I reminded them again. My point was demonstrated when the puppy came out trotting to greet them with a pair of safety goggles in his mouth. I didn't even know I owned safety goggles and had no idea where they came from. Maybe he convinced a passing tradie to throw them over the fence. Anyway, Kevin bought a pair of R.M. Williams boots. He left the box on the floor of the living room, and the puppy devoured them. He's demanding I pay to replace them because it was my dog that destroyed them. I'm refusing because I gave him fair warning and provided a secure place to store anything he didn't want chewed up. They also insisted on staying here, claiming they couldn't afford accommodation, but when I pointed out that if Kevin can afford $650 for boots, he can afford a couple nights of a local hotel. I think I'm in the right, but my husband thinks I should pay. He said I'd be upset if the dog ate my boots. I said the dog did eat my boots, although mine weren't $650. I changed my behavior to avoid it from happening again. My husband said it's not fair to expect people to remember, but I think that's a silly argument when said, because if he really thinks about it, we should pay, the money should come out of our joint account. Now he's sitting in the living room with Kevin, and they're both sulking. For further context, this blew up a bit overnight, so I thought I'd add a little bit more information. The puppy is crate trained and responds to his commands about 90% of the time. The living room the boots were left in was upstairs, and the puppy is not allowed up there. If there's a gate at the bottom of the stairs that Kevin constantly left open, despite me reminding him to keep it closed and putting up a sign that said, "Shut the gate." However, I do not like Kevin, and I put up with him for my brother's sake. When reflecting on everything, I asked myself, would I replace the boots if it was anyone else? And I might. But I don't know anyone else that would stay at my place that would be so oblivious to the precautions needed to protect their belongings. My sister and her spouse and kids stayed earlier in the year, and one of their kids left their Skechers on the floor in the downstairs lounge room. The dog ate them, and I offered to replace those, but my sister refused because her kids, who were 15, 17, and 19, are old enough to take responsibility and had been warned to not leave things laying around. And at that time, before the trainer had been engaged, and the puppy was a bit of undirected, destructive chaos and energy. I also sent them a text before agreeing them to allow to stay and said, dude, the risk is yours. If the dog eats your expensive toys, that's on you. You have been warned.
Okay, let's recap this one too so I can make sure I have my facts straight, because I kind of think this one is a little complicated, right? The person who's writing in is the sister who is married. Her brother wants to come stay with her, and her brother and her brother's husband, okay? She says in the post she does not like the brother's husband, the brother-in-law, right? So she already doesn't like him, okay? She already don't like him, but she says, yes, you can stay at my house. They're telling her they cannot afford a hotel, so they want to stay with her. That's great. My brother and his fam can come stay with us anytime they want to. You know, like, that's me. But I love them both. Puppies, they do like to chew on things. They do get on things. They're immature. They're babies. They're babies, right? So I don't think she's the a-hole. I don't think she is. I don't think she's the one in the wrong in this situation. I mean, if somebody told me, hey, I have a dog, they're chewing everything up, I would not leave $650 boots out. I would not leave anything out. One, I would be worried that the puppy would chew on something that would harm them, and I would feel terrible, which would be my other question. If the puppy ended up being sick because Kevin, or whatever their name, whatever the name is, left the boots out, would Kevin pay the vet bill? Would Kevin pay to take care of the puppy if the puppy had had some type of like medical issue from the boots? That would be my question, because I do think he would be the a-hole in that situation, because he left the boots out. You've been told, hey, if you come to my house, and you leave something out, it will get chewed up. Not it may, but it will. It will get chewed up. So I don't think she's in the wrong. I think it's hilarious that her husband was like, well, you know, you should really pay for them. And she was like, oh, okay, well, like, we should pay for them because it's our dog. And he was like, hold up, let me rethink that. It's all fun and games when it's not your money, right? When it's somebody else's money, it can be way easier to judge. I'm like, if you don't, like, if you don't want your boots to get ate, why are you leaving them out? I don't understand. Like, why are you leaving your shoes out? Why are you being messy in somebody else's home? Oh, that red. It gets me. It gets me every time, y'all. I love a red eye. I'm getting distracted. I'm getting distracted by shadow, as I usually do. So yeah, I definitely don't think that she is in the wrong for not wanting to pay for the boots. She even said she sent the text beforehand reminding. But if it were me, I'll tell you what I would do. How about that? But I'm not saying this is what everyone should do at all. I try to like put myself in the situation too and say like, what would I do in my unique situation? Again, everybody has different life experiences, different phases in their life, different experiences. Like, I don't know what led to her not liking this man in the first place. I don't know. But obviously she must love her brother, right? If she tolerates a husband that she doesn't like and enough even to like let them come stay in her home. So what I would do if this was me, I would pay for the boots. And okay, I know some of y'all are like, no, how could you pay for the boots? I would pay for the boots and I would say like, you know, here's your $650. I cannot have you stay in my home again though, because I cannot trust that you will respect me, that you will respect our home, and that you will take care of your things. Like, I can't have you stay in my home again. And that would be that. Like, it would be hard. It would not be fun at all. I would hate it. But what's to say this wouldn't happen again? What's to say that they wouldn't come and do something else irresponsible again? Also thought it was interesting. I think she said her sister's kids had come to stay and had got something that was destroyed by the dog. And the sister was like, no, you're not paying to replace this. Like, my kids are old enough to be responsible with their things. That would 100% be me as well. If I went somewhere with my kid and, you know, I told them before I got there, like, hey, they have a new puppy. Don't leave your stuff laying around. One, I would be checking for it too. But two, like, my kid is old enough to not leave things laying around, and I wouldn't let somebody pay for their neglect of things, you know. This is weird. This is a weird one. I think it's weird that the grown man wants somebody else to pay for his boots when he's the one that left them out. Let me know what you think. My ruling is going to be not the a-hole, but if it were me, my personal self, if this actually happened to me, not if I were her, but if this happened to me, I would pay for them and be like, you're never coming again. But if it were me and I was the one who left the boots out and my boots got eaten, I would be the one apologizing. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I left these out. Is the dog okay? I can't believe I did that. Oh my gosh, I'm so forgetful. Like, I would be so embarrassed that I, a fully grown adult, could not remember to put my shoes away, and 2, that I'm just like leaving things around. Some of y'all are going to disagree with me on this one, and that is totally okay. Maybe you are like, absolutely, she should pay for these boots. It was her dog. And I don't know, because like, what's the alternative? You don't get to see your brother, like your brother doesn't get to visit because they can't afford a hotel. Like, also, I don't know where this person lives. Would it have been cheaper to pay for them to stay in a hotel? Like, by the time you add in the cost of the boots, maybe it was cheaper to just pay for your brother to stay in a hotel. But then it's like, well, why are you paying for 2 grown people a hotel room? Please let me know what you think. My eyes are nice and dramatic, just how I like them. I have another video from Kat. Let me look at a liner. I'm gonna put on a liner and mascara and a lash because I can't. I don't think I can talk and do that, and I'm talking way too long. So I will do that, and then we will listen to the last one while we do bronzer, blush, lip, all of that. So I knew something like this was gonna happen. I forgot to turn on my mic, so I'm just gonna quickly like speed through what I'm doing while Kat plays the story for y'all. I am super sorry.
Am I the for the meltdown I had on Christmas Day, which caused my dad's wife to cry? The background starts with my mom dying. I, 17 female, was 11, and my sisters were 16 and 18. Our dad met his second wife a couple years later when I was 13. The expectations for my relationship with her and my sisters were always very different. My sisters were expected to be civil, but if they weren't that close, then it wasn't a big deal. But almost everyone, minus my sisters and minus my mom's family, expected me to see my dad's wife as some second mother or maternal figure. They got married when I was 14. My dad's wife wanted me to divide Mother's Day between my sisters and maternal side and with her. My sisters were not expected to do the same, but she would say that she wanted to celebrate the day with her kid. She signed us up for mother-daughter things. She would get hurt when I didn't want to go and would never ask my sisters. I asked her before why she expected me to do these things with her, but she never invited my sisters. She said that she was raising me and wanted to be a mother presence in my life, but they were grown. I told her and my dad on separate occasions that I didn't want or need and I wouldn't accept anyone else into that kind of figure. I was ignored. I had a small run-in with my sisters when my dad was married because I said that he shouldn't get married, and they told me that he should allow to be happy and move on, and my mom would want him happy. When I explained what was going on and they realized why I was feeling that way, they tried to talk to my dad, but it did no good. My dad's side of the family would all make comments that I was lucky to have another mother figure, or how I didn't seem to give her the care and consideration that she deserves. They would ask why I seemed to spend no time with her of my own free will, or why I was never loving towards her. My dad told me I should show her more love and affection, and he told me I made her feel left out when I didn't tell her stuff or when I made plans with others and not her. I know some people would love to have someone like this in their lives, but I want the same relationship that my sisters have with her, but mine is more than expected. So Christmas Day came and everyone was at our house for Christmas, minus my mom's family. My dad and his wife gave me a card that said, "From my parents," and my sisters got them with dad and his wife. When it came time for family photos, we got one with the 3 of us and my dad, but then my grandparents wanted me in the family one with my dad and his wife, but my sisters weren't expected to be in it. I tried to step out and my dad's wife said it wasn't a family photo without their kid. This was the point where I lost it, and I told her I am not her kid. She is not my mother, and that she is my dad's wife, just like she is to my sisters, and I want it to be the same way. I said I do not love her and hate how they all treat her like she suddenly became a parent to me. My sisters were on my side, but my dad was furious, and his wife cried and cried harder as I continued.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and react now. I'm sorry I messed up. Daughter is not the a-hole in this situation. First of all, let me just throw that out there. She's writing this post at the time that she's 17. her father remarried at 13, and she was expected to do mother-daughter things with this new person is awful. I'm not saying it's awful at the dad for getting remarried. I don't know his life, okay? But he is awful to not allow his daughter to grieve and to expect her, and it sounded like even be forced in certain situations to do mommy-daughter things with this new person. I don't know how they expected love to come from that, because she, like, here at Christmas or whatever, she was telling the stepmom, like, I don't love you. I don't know how they thought what they were doing would produce love in someone. I can't wrap my mind around it. I don't know why this new person didn't come in and try to be a friend, a support system. I mean, it's cliche, but can't you be like, listen, I know I'm not your mom. I'm not trying to replace your mom, but I'm here for you if you ever need anything. And then see what happens and hopefully develop a great relationship. But to come in and say, like, well, I'm raising you, and also to kind of like kick the sisters to the side. The sisters were older, but to be like, oh, you know, well, they're not part of our family. I just want a photo with our family. The mom, or the stepmom, the dad, and the youngest daughter. Like, so you're not only taking this child, even 17 is a legal child, you're taking this child and they've lost their mom, but now you're almost putting them in a family unit separate from their two older sisters. The dad, I'm telling you, a-hole is the nicest thing I could say about the dad. I'm sure it's hard to be a step parent. I have no idea. I would imagine so. But I think the worst thing you could do is come in and be like, you're 13, I'm raising you, you're my child now, you're going to do this mother-daughter thing with me, and I'm gonna sign us up for all of this, and it really hurts my feelings when you don't treat me like your mom. A whole adult is acting that way. I cannot imagine the audacity of people, and I don't even want to say like they don't have self-awareness. I would say they don't care about others other than themselves. What in the world? Like, she made her stepmom cry. Her stepmom made herself cry because she was acting inappropriate. And that's my thought on that. If you have a different opinion, of course I would love to hear it. I would love to know. Of course, aside from my editing blunder, it's not like I can really like go back and take off my bronzer, blush, highlight, lip only. I'm sorry about that. But let me know, would you like to do more videos like this? I thought it was fun just to kind of talk and give my opinion on other people's lives when they ask for it. When they ask for it, and they were asking for people's opinions on the Reddit. So I had fun with that. Let me know, do you want to see this series continue? Again, if we have different opinions on this, it is okay. Like, listen, it is okay. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your opinion. I love my makeup look. I'm into it. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my beautiful, amazing, wonderful, so awesome sister-in-law for helping me out with this. I hope you're having a great day. Please subscribe. I'll see you very soon in another one. Bye!